Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. Today, we are talking about a moment involving Zhang Linghe that may sound simple at first. A few words about an intimate scene. A few words about a secret crush. And somehow, those words were enough to make fans bring Tian Xiwei's name back into the conversation. But why? Why did a discussion about acting suddenly become another major talking point among fans of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei? And perhaps the biggest question of all. Was Zhang Linghe really talking about someone specific? Or did fans simply hear one familiar word and immediately remember a certain co-star? Let's go back to the beginning. Recently, Zhang Linghe attracted attention after discussing his experience with intimate and romantic scenes in a production. For an actor, this kind of conversation is not unusual. Romantic scenes can require a different kind of emotional preparation. There are cameras, directors, scripts, repeated takes, and an entire production team watching every movement. But this time, one particular part of the discussion caught people's attention. The topic of secret love. Unspoken feelings. A person who keeps something inside. Someone who may have feelings, but never says them directly. And suddenly, fans started paying attention. Because when the word secret crush appeared in the conversation, some viewers immediately began connecting it with Zhang Linghe's previous on-screen chemistry with Tian Xiwei. It was not because Zhang Linghe directly named Tian Xiwei. He did not publicly confirm that he was talking about her. There was no official statement saying that the secret crush was Tian Xiwei. But fandom discussions do not always begin with an official confirmation. Sometimes, they begin with one sentence, one expression, one familiar name, and one question that refuses to disappear. Could he be talking about her? That question began circulating among fans and entertainment-focused social media accounts. And once the connection was made, people started looking back. They remembered Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei appearing together in The Best Thing, also associated with the Chinese title. They remembered their scenes, their expressions, their timing, the way their characters interacted, and most importantly, the chemistry that had already made the pair such a popular topic among viewers. For many fans, Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei were not simply two actors who happened to appear in the same production. Their screen presence created a particular feeling. A feeling that made viewers want to see more. More scenes. More interactions. More behind-the-scenes moments. And perhaps another project together. That history is important. Because without that history, the recent discussion about might have passed quietly. But because Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei already have a large audience watching their every interaction, the conversation quickly became something bigger. Some fans looked at the situation emotionally. They asked themselves, why does this feel so familiar? Others were more cautious. They pointed out that actors talk about romantic scenes all the time. They reminded other fans that discussing a fictional emotion does not automatically mean an actor is revealing a real-life feeling. And this is where the story becomes interesting. Because there are actually two different stories happening at the same time. The first story is the factual one. Zhang Linghe discussed aspects of performing romantic or intimate scenes, including the idea of secret love. The second story is the fandom interpretation. Some viewers connected those comments with Tian Xiwei. Those two things are not exactly the same. And that difference matters. Because once a celebrity's words are taken out of their original context and placed into a fandom discussion, a simple acting-related comment can suddenly feel like a confession. A simple phrase can become a clue. A coincidence can become a theory. And a theory can become a trending conversation. That is exactly what happened here. Fans began revisiting the relationship between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei on screen. They remembered the moments that previously made them smile. They remembered the subtle expressions. The quiet looks. The scenes where neither character needed to say much. Because the emotion was already visible. And suddenly, the old moments seemed different. Not because the footage had changed, but because the audience was watching it with a new question in mind. What if? That two-word question can be incredibly powerful in fandom culture. What if that comment had another meaning? What if the timing was not random? What if there was a hidden reference? What if fans had noticed something that had previously gone unnoticed? But then, another question appears. What if there is nothing hidden at all? What if Zhang Linghe was simply talking about acting? What if was only part of the emotional world of a character or a production? And what if Tian Xiwei's name entered the discussion simply because their chemistry is already so strongly associated with the audience? This is where the line between entertainment news and fan speculation becomes extremely important. There is no confirmed statement from Zhang Linghe saying, "Yes, I was talking about Tian Xiwei." There is also no confirmed statement establishing that the discussion was a personal confession. So, at this moment, the connection remains something fans are discussing and interpreting. But that does not make the reaction uninteresting. In fact, it may be the reaction itself that tells us something. It shows just how powerful the Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei pairing has become in the eyes of their audience. One word, and fans remember them. One discussion, and old scenes begin circulating again. One mention of secret love, and suddenly the fandom starts asking whether there could be another meaning behind the words. This is why celebrity chemistry can be so fascinating. Sometimes, the audience becomes part of the story. They remember details. They compare interviews. They revisit old clips. They look at timing. They look at expressions. They try to connect moments that may or may not actually be connected. And once enough people begin asking the same question, the question itself becomes news. For Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei, this pattern is especially noticeable. Their popularity as an on-screen pairing means that even unrelated discussions can sometimes bring the CP back into the spotlight. And that is exactly why this latest conversation has attracted attention. But there is another emotional layer here. Fans who love their chemistry may hear the word secret crush and immediately imagine their favorite pairing. For them, it can feel like a beautiful possibility. A tiny moment that makes them wonder whether the story between these two actors still has another chapter waiting to be written. Maybe another drama. Maybe another collaboration. Maybe another behind-the-scenes moment. Or maybe nothing at all. Maybe the story exists only inside the imagination of the audience. And honestly, that uncertainty may be exactly what keeps people watching. Because if everything were already confirmed, there would be no mystery, no question, no reason to go back and analyze the smallest details. The fascination comes from the space between what we know and what we wonder. But we should still be careful. A popular CP does not automatically mean a real-life relationship. On-screen chemistry does not prove private feelings. And a conversation about secret love does not automatically become a romantic confession. Those boundaries are important, especially when discussing real people. Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei are actors. They create characters. They perform emotions. They make audiences believe in fictional relationships. And sometimes, they do it so convincingly that audiences begin carrying those emotions outside the screen. That is the power of good acting. And perhaps that is also the reason their CP remains so difficult for fans to forget. Because when viewers remember their scenes together, they are not only remembering dialogue. They are remembering a feeling. A feeling of anticipation. A feeling of warmth. A feeling that something was left unsaid. And now, the phrase has reopened that feeling. For some fans, it is exciting. For others, it is simply another example of fandom connecting dots. And for the more cautious viewers, it is a reminder that sometimes the most interesting story is not the answer. It is the question. So, was Zhang Linghe's discussion really connected to Tian Xiwei? At this point, there is no confirmed evidence that allows us to say that. Could fans continue to interpret the moment as a possible hint? Absolutely. Could the discussion bring the Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei CP back into the spotlight? It already has. But whether there is a deeper meaning behind it, that remains the part nobody can answer for certain. And perhaps that is why this moment has become so fascinating. Because once again, Zhang Linghe says something. Fans hear it. Tian Xiwei's name appears in the discussion. Old memories return. Old scenes are revisited. And one simple question begins echoing across the fandom. Was there something more behind those words? Maybe there was. Maybe there wasn't. For now, the only thing we can confidently say is that the secret crush discussion has given fans another reason to revisit the chemistry between Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei. And sometimes, that is enough to reignite an entire fandom conversation. So now, I want to hear from you. When you heard about Zhang Linghe discussing, did Tian Xiwei immediately come to your mind? Do you think fans are simply connecting the dots because they love their chemistry? Or do you think there is another context behind the conversation that deserves more attention? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And remember, we can enjoy the chemistry, discuss the theories, and follow the story, while still separating what has actually been said from what fans believe it might mean. Because sometimes, the most powerful part of a story is the silence between the words, and perhaps that is exactly why this Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei conversation is not ending here. It is only beginning again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because whenever another unexpected moment brings Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei back into the spotlight, we'll be here to talk about it. Until the next story. Goodbye.